Imagine maggots under your skin, eating away slowly at your flesh every day. That's what it's like. Every day I get reminded about what he did and said in those moments. I will get triggered by something and it puts me right back there. I remember one time with my daughter. She needed a wee and she was desperate. We were walking home and it took me straight back to when I used to use this as an excuse to get him off me. I was paralysed. I had to sit down on the ground where we were. It felt like I was under a bookcase and the books were falling down on me, and I couldn't stop them. I want everyone to think of the most uncomfortable, heartbreaking moment in their lives, and then I want you to hold those emotions in. I then want you to gather the strength, courage, and integrity to tell someone. Tell your family, friends, tell the police, and then finally tell the court. Tell the defence and total strangers about your pain. My name's Jamie and I am a survivor of sexual abuse. I feel like I'm coming forward now because it's my time to do so and I'm ready. So I reported it in 2019 when I was around 25. I'd gone through a very bad mental breakdown. I didn't quite understand why it felt so hard to just live. And then, I can't really remember the exact moment where I thought, it's this. I think it was just an accumulation of everything, felt too much. And then I started to ask those internal questions like, why do I feel like this? Why is that word bothering me? And then, it equated to, right, what happened to me as a child? I wouldn't let that happen to my children. So first of all, I tried to commit suicide because I thought that if I wasn't here, it was easier than speaking. And that's not the truth. Speaking is easier. Holding somebody accountable for their crimes is easier than leaving, and there is people out there that love you and care for you and you're their everything, and it might not feel like that in the moment, but just tell somebody, because once you do, once I made that first call to the police, it felt like bricks had been taken off my back, that I could see my children smiling with clarity for the first time in such a long time. And dying wasn't an option, surviving was. The legal process of things is quite lengthy. I believe I reported my crime in 2019. So it's in stages. First is the phone call, your initial talk to the police, non-emergency. Then they allocate a detective and a supporting officer who come and have initial first interviews. These interviews can go on to further questions and further dates for further interviews, and then it's about gathering evidence from people who you may have spoken to. The evidence is then accumulated, kind of like a big pot, and then passed to CPS. So the support that I got through the process was lots of different organisations. So the initial phone call was very pleasant and reassuring, and that was just with the call attendant. So I did feel supported from the very start. Then I was allocated my detective, who is an absolute asset and an incredible person. Hats off to her. I think God gave me Emma. I don't have any other. There's no words. There's no words for her. I can't speak highly enough of her, or the force in general.
So my name is Emma. I am a detective in the child sexual exploitation team. When I met Jamie, I was a detective in the protecting vulnerable persons team. So Jamie, when the team that I used to work in, we would be given an investigation to look at, and one of those was Jamie. And Jamie had come forward in relation to some abuse that had happened to her many years before. So I contacted Jamie by phone, as would normally be the case, and then we agreed to have a meet. Jamie's a very easy person to like. She's wears her heart on her sleeve, but is also very vocal about how she feels and what happened to her, which made my life and my job a lot easier. Whereas I think also it's important, you're with somebody all that way, then you don't just go, right, dealt with it now, see you, because you know about them. I know about her family and her life. So between that, we got talking outside of the investigation about what she wanted in life and how she wanted to help others, and that has then pushed her forward to doing this, which is so brave. I can't tell you how brave that is. So we do have a really good relationship still. I'm still in contact with her.
There was also other officers who I also became quite close with, and then there was my ISVA, which is an independent sexual violence advocate, and they talk you through the court process. They can be with you at the court, and yes, so there wasn't one time in this journey where I thought I'm losing my mind, I'm so alone. It wasn't like that. I had somebody there with me all the time. When the court came back and the jury had found him unanimously guilty, it was over a process of 2 days. Somebody stood and they said, "We find this abuser guilty on all counts." I think I made the most unimaginable noise, and then I felt validated. I felt like the process leading up to that point was completely reasonable. The time scale, the waiting, the debating, the sleepless nights, the anxiety attacks, everything made complete sense.
If you never try, you'll never know. And if you never go on that journey with somebody and encourage them to do that, they would never know the outcome of that. And I think it's really important to start it. Also, I think it's important to know that at any point in that time, people can stop. They are in control and they can make those decisions. It's not down to us. We will just help them and encourage them and try and take them to where they need to be and where we want it to be. Ultimately, it is convictions, isn't it? It is to find justice for people. But it's also important that people understand that at any point in that journey, you can say, do you know what, I can't do this right now. But equally, if we decide that in years to come or time to come, that can be picked back up again and taken and carried on again.
So the healing journey isn't like a guru type of hippie, flowers and rainbows. It's not linear. It's like the one thing that you can do is stay present. I know that it's really hard in times of uproar or trauma, but to remind yourself of the very minute pleasures that we take from life is to take back control of those spiralling thoughts.
So, with Jamie's message and in trying to encourage others, and for me as a police officer who sees the rewards that an investigation can be for people who have gone through something, any offence, but obviously I deal with sexual offences, but any offences that have happened, my advice is come forward, ring, just make that call, and even if you don't go any further than that call, you've started something, and it may be that then you feel you can progress, and each step of the way, that's all it is, just go step at a time. So every person that rings in, whoever it may be, it doesn't matter. If something's happened to you that should never have happened, we will take that seriously. It will go as far as you want it to go, but it can also only go as far as the evidence will go. So we have to have some realism about that, that we will do our absolute utmost to get it to the point where we can obviously charge somebody, and that's our ultimate aim. But at any point that can change depending how the person may be. They want it to stop, they can't do any more, they need it just to stop for now, or we go as far as the evidence will lead. We are evidence gatherers, and that's our main role. It doesn't matter if something happened 5 minutes ago or 50 years ago. It makes no difference whatsoever. The investigation will still follow the same path.
If you are sitting on the line and wondering, should I make this call, should I not, just take your time, make a cup of tea. You're in a safe space. Nobody's going to harm you now. It is difficult to do it. I can't say that it's not, because I've lived it. So I know. If you're watching this and you're thinking, this lady's just got all this strength, she's pulled it from thin air. I've not. If you're spiralling and those thoughts are getting overwhelming, speak it out loud. Talk to somebody. Make the phone call. Tell your family, friends. Tell the police, and then finally tell the court. Tell the defence and total strangers about your pain.